to hear all the words, but he was singing this song also. Only I think last 24 hours or 30 hours that he is unable to speak. But before that, he was, whoever goes there, he will talk about Krishna. So I have some pleasure to have his talk with me. I think 3-4 recording I have done. He was taking me to the Govardhan Parikrama also, and he said, "Oh Shyam, we are at this place." Very conscious. So we will read from Simanaha Siksha, Splendid Instruction to the Mind by Raghunath Das Goswami. A very profound instructions. And we are on the verse number 7, which is the root cause of all other anarthas, is pratishta, name and fame. And we are reading the commentary by His Holiness Shrivaram Swami Maharaj. So sada sevasva, we should always show the pure devotees, because serving Vaishnavas induces humility. Even if you don't have humility now, if you serve pure devotees, you will become humble. The serving mood and the mood of humility are the antithesis of pride and the desire for honor. It neutralizes and destroys them. Show those who are very dear to the Lord. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that the heart of a pure devotees are saturated with Ladini Shakti. And by serving them, they become compassionate. And the result of that compassion is that they bestow their mercy on us. Bestowing mercy means they transferred Ladini Shakti from their heart. A ray of that potency becomes transferred to the heart of others. And the Ladini Shakti purified all the contaminations present in one's heart. It not only purified, but also generates love, Sadhu Prem. The verse says this process happens immediately, Tvaritam. It will happen quickly, but we must do it. So Niskasya Tvaritam Ihatam Vesayati Saha. The association of the pure devotees in a proper mood will expel all these unwanted qualities and will simultaneously give us access to love. We can only get love of God from pure devotees. Maybe we can get it from Krishna, but that is very rare. So what is the conclusion? Conclusion is that one should serve the Vaishnavas, one should serve the dust of the lotus feet, take the remnants of their footstep, and take their instructions. Because all these things possesses the same Ladini Shakti. Then we will become free from all these impediments to our spiritual life. We can also remember to read and study pastimes concerning the particular demons which are representative of these disturbing elements, and specifically deceit, which is represented by Bakasur. Don't forget to call out, quote, "O servant of the killer of Baka." To read that story in Krishna book and to hear that particular pastime. The other three qualities which we read about happening to the Parinishta, Nirupeksha, and Swanishta devotees: speculation, fault finding, and argumentation. Those anarthas are represented by speculation by Trunavata, fault finding by Aghasura, and again argumentation is also represented by Trunavata. Also, this quote from the Padma Purana, which everyone should know: Aradhanam Sarvesham, Vishnu Aradhanam Param, Tasmat Partaram Devi, Tadyanam Shamarchanam. Of all different kinds of worship, worship of the Supreme Lord Vishnu is the highest. But even greater than this is the worship of his pure devotees. So Maharaj has continued this. So we will continue tomorrow. Wonderful instructions that can help us to stay away from those and make it clear those obstacles from our devotional practices. So we will be embarking on reading from Srila Prabhupada, Lilamrita. I think we are on chapter 5, titled A Lot of Ground. A lot of ground to be covered. And today we'll be starting the new topic, so we don't have to read one more paragraph. One of Prabhupada's frequent visitor was Vairagi Baba, an educated man who had visited America, and he spoke fluent English. He regularly joined in the kirtan with the devotees, chanting and dancing with them on stage. And when he visited Prabhupada in his room, he behaved with Prabhupada in a familiar way, too familiar. Prabhupada's disciple thought, but Prabhupada tolerated him. It says that too much familiarity creates contempt. So we have to be careful when we associate and serve the pure devotees. One day, some devotees met Vairagi Baba at a lunch engagement, and they noticed he was drinking tea, almost naively, and yet with an air of challenge. One of the devotees asked why he was drinking tea. "Oh, I'm an avdut," Vairagi Baba replied. The devotees who had never heard this word before reported the incidents to Prabhupada. Avdut, Prabhupada explained, means one who is beyond the regulative principles. Generally, these refer to Nityananda Prabhu. Prabhupada disapproved of Vairagi Baba's tea drinking, and especially of his calling himself an avdut. A small group of devotees were sitting with Prabhupada in his room one afternoon. Quote, Srimati Radharani's excellence was her cooking, unquote, Prabhupada said. She could also sing and dance, but her great service was her cooking for Krishna. Mother Yashoda would ask her personally to come and cook for Krishna and the cowherd boys. So all in a line, she would feed them prasadam. An Indian lady came to the door, bringing an offering of chidwa, fried cashews, potatoes, and raisin with spices. Srila Prabhupada took some, then distributed the rest to the other devotees. Do you like this? He asked, turning to Yamuna. Oh, it is very, very tasty, she replied. Yes, he said, you should learn to prepare this. I like it very much. My Guru Maharaj was also fond of potato chidwa, and he would sometimes request it late in the afternoon. He was very fond of it. Srila Prabhupada, a devotee, asked, may we publish picture of you without tilak? Yes, he replied. My Guru Maharaj has been recorded without tilak. You have seen that picture where he is looking up from his book at his working table? Yes, the devotee replied. I have seen that picture. I have seen you look in that very same way, with the very same expression as in the picture of your Guru Maharaj. You have only seen the glitter, Prabhupada corrected. He is the gold. I am only iron. Iron can never be gold, but you have seen the glitter of the real glow. Hari Bol. So one afternoon, a renowned astrologer visited Prabhupada and offered to read his palm. No, Prabhupada replied, I'm finished with that. But you may read my disciples' palms. The astrologer read the palm of the several devotees present, made his predictions, and then laughed. The devotees turned to Prabhupada, wondering what to make of it. Quote, as soon as you clap your hand in front of the deities during Aarti, Prabhupada said, smiling, all the lines of your palm are changed. And I believe so. Because, actually, one time I think one of the astrologers saw my son's hand and he has no lifeline. And he was, very surprised that he was still living. Krishna can change those ones. Srila Prabhupada told his disciple a story about when he had lived in Vrindavan. A Bengali widow walked to the Yamuna river to take her bath every morning. And every morning, without fail, she would return with a pot of water for Radha Damodar Pujaris to use in bathing the deities. Prabhupada said he would sometimes open the gate for the woman, since he also rose very early, and she would enter and wake the Pujari. Quote, although the Vrindavan nights are cold in the winter, Prabhupada says, the woman never once failed to come with the water early in the morning. This is what is required. For this activity, hear this sentence, what Prabhupada has said, just by remaining steadfast, no matter how cold, she will bring at right time the water from Yamuna for the deities. And this activity alone, Prabhupada says, she will return back to Godhead. What important instructions. One who cannot rise early in the morning is not very serious about spiritual life. Hari Bol. One must rise before the Brahmurta hour before. That is very auspicious. And one will take the trouble to do so. if he is serious about spiritual life. So trouble is there to wake up in the morning. But if we are serious, we must do it. One day Prabhupada was sitting outside near his bungalow, chanting on his beads, when an unknown man approached, calling out the names of Krishna. Suddenly the man fell to the ground, rolling and crying, appearing to be in a great ecstasy. Prabhupada remained seated and observed the exhibitions, but made no response. The man continued his crying and rolling and chanting. Prabhupada now ignored him completely. After several minutes, the man got up and walked away, obviously disappointed. Early one morning, as Prabhupada sat in his room with his disciples, a gentleman entered and tearfully announced that his mother was dying. The devotee, watching for Prabhupada's reaction, saw him remain grave. He didn't try to reassure the man or preach to him, but made only a very mild comment. Prabhupada was unpredictable. He was always Krishna conscious, and he always acted in accord with Guru and Shastra. But exactly how he would act in a given situation was unpredictable. Whatever he did, however, was Krishna conscious and correct, and he was always instructing them by his example. So we are now going to the next topic. On Prabhupada last morning in Indore, he continued the story of Ajamil. He explained that because Ajamil had uttered the holy name, he had immediately obtained salvation, even though he had been so sinful. Quote, so Ajamil, at the time of his death, just remembered his youngest son, whose name was Narayan. The very name of Narayan has got the full potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayan. That is the secret of this Nama Sankirtan movement. By chanting the holy name of Narayan, you immediately contact with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Nam, the Lord's name, is not material. It is spiritual. Krishna and Krishna's name, there is no difference. In a very appealing voice, Ajamil began to ask his son Narayan, quote, please come here, I'm dying. He was very afraid of the Yamadutas. Krishna sent the Vishnudutas to give Ajamil shelter. The Vishnudutas looked just like Lord Narayan with four hands. With a grave voice, they said to the Yamadutas, what are you doing? Stop. You cannot take this man to Yamaraj. Prabhupada ended his lecture and his stay in Indore, having expected an invitation to travel to Surat in the state of Gujarat. That's where I am from. And I missed that opportunity. I think Prabhupada came in 1973. And it was a glorious welcoming. People were throwing the flowers from the second floor, and they were garlanding all these disciples. They showed them nicely. And Prabhupada make a comment, all these people of Surat are real Brahmanas, Vaishnavas, Haribol. and the whole Krishna conscious program. He and his disciple would be leaving shortly. Devotees from Bombay would also join them. Prabhupada had come to Indore for the Gita Jayanti Mahotsav, but actually the Mahotsav was but a small part of his teaching in Indore. He had met hundreds of people, made life members and friends, and he had touched their lives. His presence in Indore would leave a lasting impression. So Baba Balmukund is describing this in his own words as follows. I have seen many sadhus and great saints in this Gita Bhavan. I saw Srila Prabhupada also in the same place. I was very much impressed by Srila Prabhupada and his preaching. It was because Prabhupada has revealed the reality about bhakti, because he was a pure bhakta, that he could change the people of the West and give them another dress. He could give them another diet, and he could entirely change their culture and give them true bhakti. And this was the greatest thing Prabhupada has done. Let the world say as it likes, but he has done a marvelous thing regarding Lord Krishna's bhakti. What Swami Vivekanand, Swami Ram Tirth, and others could not do, Srila Prabhupada has done. It is a marvelous thing. Surat, December 17, 1970. Okay. I must be in engineering college at that time. It was like a dream come true. Thousands lined the street for many, many blocks, while the devotees playing kartals and mridanga and chanting Hare Krishna made their way along. Spectators stood on rooftops or clustered at window and doorways, while others joined the procession. The police had stopped traffic at the intersections, allowing only the Kirtan processions to pass. The earthen road, freshly swept and sprinkled with water, had been decorated with rice flower designs of auspicious Vedic symbols. Green, freshly cut banana trees adorn either side of the way. Overhead, women's saris strung like bunting across the narrow roadway form a brightly colored canopy over the Sankirtan party. Mr. Bagubhai Jariwala, Prabhupada host in Surat, had advertised the daily parade routes in the local newspapers. And now, day after day, the devotees were holding a kirtan processions through various sections of the city. While more than 20 of Prabhupada's disciples led the daily procession, thousands of Indians chanted, cheered, and clamored to see, and women threw flower petals from the rooftops. Often the procession would have to stop as family came forward to garland the devotees. Sometimes the devotees would receive so many garlands that their blissful faces would be scarcely visible, and they would distribute the garlands to the people in the crowd. Never before had a devotees met with such a reception. Quote, it is a city of devotees, Prabhupada said. He compared the people of Surat to dry grass catching fire. By nature, they were Krishna conscious, But the arrival of Srila Prabhupada and his Sankirtan party had been like a torch setting the city spiritually ablaze. The entire population of Surat seems to turn out every morning as tens of thousands flocked at 7 a.m. to the designated neighborhood. Men, women, laborers, merchants, professionals, the young, the old, and all the children. Everyone seems to be taking part, cramming the street and buildings. They would wait for the kirtan party, and when the devotees arrived, everyone became joyous. Prabhupada attended only a couple of the morning processions, preferring to stay in his quarter at Mr. Jariwala's home. Each morning, Prabhupada will come out onto his second floor balcony, just as the devotees were leaving. Although the mornings were cold and many of the devotees sick, seeing Prabhupada on the balcony offering them his blessings eased their troubles. Prabhupada would wave and the devotee would set off down the street chanting. The devotees had no special paraphernalia other than mridanga and kartals, no flags, no marching band, no rath or cart, just an enthusiastic kirtan party. And there was no official pandal, no sadhu samaj, no Vedanta Sammelan, no Gita Jayanti Mahotsav, just an entire city of Krishna Bhaktas waiting eagerly for the American Hare Krishna chanters. To be worshipped for chanting Hare Krishna was just the opposite of what the devotees has experienced in the West. In Hamburg, Chicago, New York, London, Los Angeles, and the devotees has been insulted, threatened with arrest, assaulted, and ignored. Of course, sometimes they had been tolerated and even appreciated, but never honored. The daily Sankirtan outing was exhausting since the route was long and the stop frequent. Many of the devotees had sore throat from singing, and the usual digestive upset persisted. But devotees took everything as the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, who was allowing them to engage a whole city in his Sankirtan movement. 20 devotees from the West had just arrived in Surat, as had an American photographer, John Gresser, on assignment for Asia magazine. John went out every day to shoot the Kirtan processions, and as he did, he felt himself becoming caught up in something much greater than mere photo assignment. The people of Surat, who consider themselves Krishna Bhakta at heart, saw Prabhupada as a great saint, and they saw his disciple, in whom they found the true Vaishnava qualities, as saints also. The devotees' dress, behavior, and way of life so pure Bhakti Yoga, and their kirtan was genuine worship of the holy name. By honoring the Lord's devotee, the people of Surat knew they were honoring Lord Krishna himself. Devotion to Krishna was the heart of their own culture, yet they had never expressed it to such a degree as now. After several days of kirtan processions, the mayor of Surat, Mr. Vaikunt Sastri, close all schools, and proclaim a holiday throughout the city. Everyone was now free to celebrate the mercy of Lord Chaitanya and chant Hare Krishna. Signs throughout the city read in Gujarati, "Welcome to the American and European devotees of Krishna, and welcome to member of the Hare Krishna movement." The devotees felt tired and blissful as they returned to Mr. Jariwala's home, and Prabhupada was waiting for them. As soon as they saw him, they all bowed down. Chidananda is putting in his own words as follows. We have 4 minutes left. This is a little bit long, huh? Past times they have put it. Yeah, I guess it will go for a couple of days, I guess. Many more. Yeah, 5, 6 pages. Prabhupada was at the foot of the stairs, greeting us. We were in complete bliss with flower garlands all over us, big smiles on our faces. We were very happy that we had been so well received. It was as if Prabhupada was standing there saying, "Just see how wonderful this Krishna consciousness is. Just see how happy you are." He was standing there smiling. He was so happy that we became happy. The devotees were not alone, however, as they returned to Mr. Jariwala's home, for hundreds of Indians thrown behind them, eager to see Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada, his disciple, and a clamoring crowd of Surat devotees squeezed tightly into Prabhupada's room. The guests, those who got ill, inquired about ISKCON and its activities, while those outside pushed to get inside. The crowd around the house grew so great that traffic couldn't pass. While Prabhupada continued to answer questions inside, the crowd outside grew larger and more restless. By their good fortune, they had realized Prabhupada's greatness, and they wanted to be with him. As their desire becomes stronger, their eagerness more intense, Prabhupada got up from his seat and walked out to the balcony, and the crowd roared, "Hare Krishna," their arms upraised. So what a wonderful pastime in Surat, because our engineering college was far at the time. Now it's like in middle of the city, but at that time. So we were totally disconnected with the outside world. We were living in the hostel. So we study, go to the room, eat, sleep, and read. That was the business. So I missed that opportunity. But my Guru Maharaj says that if you will strictly follow, one day you will come and I will introduce to you to Srila Prabhupada and all our Guru Parampara. So hoping that by their mercy, maybe we become qualified one day. So I think we should stop here. The devotees has other things to do in their life, and before they leave, we would like to offer our humble obeisances at the desk of their lotus feet by saying, "Vancha kalpataru bhasya kripa sindhu bhaya vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha." So thank you very much for joining every morning. It is so nice as